guys, so welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys first and foremost for all of the positive messages that you've been sending me through text or DMs, or I want to take a chance to really say thank you because I was really nervous when I first started this. I actually made 2 videos prior to the one that I posted and I deleted both of them. Like, there was nothing really wrong with them. But I was just super nervous about, like, I guess, like, putting myself out there and, like, making myself vulnerable. And I was really scared of, like, oh, what if, like, you know, the talents that I have, like, aren't measured up to, like, the talents of, like, millions of other makeup artists. And you know what? I'm never gonna be completely perfect, but the most that you can do is you can try to be, and you can practice, and you can get yourself out there. And honestly, like, really, truly, honestly, like, I really just want to sit in front of the camera, film, and just have fun with makeup. Like, for example, like, this look that I'm wearing right now, like, I have nowhere to wear it to. Like, I'm not gonna go grocery shopping in it. But, like, I am gonna, like, film it for fun. And, you know, if you're going to a festival, or if someone you know is going to a festival, this is, like, a really fun, and it's a sort of easy look to catch on to. Like, I'm definitely by no means advanced when it comes to makeup. Like, I make mistakes, and I'm trying to get better every day. But this is a very fun, and it's a very easy look, and I give you a lot of tips and tricks as to, like, how to achieve it. And I mentioned a couple of my favorite products in this video that I have right now. Here's the finished product, and let's see how we do it. Alright guys, so I'm gonna get started on this festival look, and the first thing that I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. Since I don't really do my eyebrows in a very particular way, I'm just gonna kind of speed through this. As per the last video, it's basically the same things that I use. I use Anastasia Pomade eyebrow gel, and I also use the Anastasia clear brow gel. So it's the same thing. If you want to see a more in-depth tutorial, maybe in the future I can do one, but as for right now, I kind of want to just keep the video as short as possible and keep it focused solely on the eyes. Alright, so I'm going to just speed right through this. Alright guys, so the brows are as twinning as they are possibly going to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with my base. So I'm going to go in with my Ulta Beauty primer. I really like this primer because I think that for the price that it is, it really does the trick. So it's going to always keep your eyeshadows in place, and it has such a pretty, I don't know if you can really see it, it has such a pretty, like, sheen to it. I don't know if you guys like that, but it kind of just depends. I'm okay with it. I like it because I feel like it kind of, like, brightens up maybe, like, more neutral colors, and maybe if you're using rosy tones. For this look, it doesn't really matter. because I'm going to be covering it up with a lot with like concealers because I want to try to do a cut crease. So I'm just going to prime my eyes with this. So here we go. Alright, so now that the base is completed, I don't try to set it with anything in particular. I know a lot of people go back in with like translucent powder or something like that. I kind of just like to let it sit there just because I feel like the stickiness makes eyeshadows kind of more pigmented in a way. Not that you need a lot of pigmentation for the palette that I'm going to use, but just for other palettes, if maybe you're using a palette that's not as pigmented and you just need a little extra tip. So I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Prism Palette. And the reason being is that it has one like super bright color that I have been dying to try, but I've also been like really nervous to try out, and it's the shade Sphere. So that's gonna kind of be like the big player in today's video. So, but before I go into that, I am going to kind of make a transition into that. So that's what I'm going to be using to make my cut crease. And I'm also going to be using the Lucid. So Lucid and Sphere are like my two main players of today's video. But before that, I'm going to kind of maybe take it a little bit easier, and I'm going to go in with Unity. And I'm gonna kind of create like background to the cut crease. So I'm gonna go in with, this one is Studio Pro BH Cosmetics, it's number 6. So I'm gonna go in with that. I'm just gonna dip lightly into the color Unity, and I'm just gonna pack that on the top of my lid. So this is going to make any other shade that I use stick together a little bit easier, and it's also going to create like you know how sometimes when you put on an eyeshadow and it kind of like skips and it looks a little patchy? This is what's going to prevent that. So I'm going to go in little by little just to kind of like the top half. I'm going to bring it over here. Same thing with this guy. Okay, so I'm just going to dip into the shade Parallel, and it is a very warm brown. So this brown is definitely like has a lot of like red undertone to it. So I'm just going to lightly, like very lightly, tap into it because a little bit goes a very long way, and I'm just going to kind of dust it up above. Okay, so I'm bringing this eyeshadow up. I brought it down for a second, but that was a whoopsie. But I'm kind of cleaning it up in a way. It's literally just gonna be like one big blob of a mess. But basically our main goal is to kind of just keep it there, you know, and later on we're gonna go back in and we're going to like cut the crease and we're gonna add the pigments and the colors. But right now, we just have to make sure that it has like a strong base to it, which I think it does. I don't see any super, any big patches on it or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to start to cut my crease. Okay, so I'm using my LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I'm just going to apply that to the back of my hand right here. And little by little, just because I don't want to waste any. I'm almost done with my little Pro Conceal. I'm going to have to grab another one. And I'm just going to go in with this brush. So see how it has kind of like an angled tip to it? So I'm going to use this to really wing out my concealer. See what I mean by like anything that you do that's like kind of messy doesn't really matter, because when you're working with like a cut crease, you kind of just wipe away all of your mess. Okay, so now that my crease is cut to the max, I am gonna go in, with this brush. So this is from the Beige Rose Gold collection, and it is number 9. See how it kind of has like a very thin tip to it? So it's very flat. It's a flat angled, not angled, but it's like a flat brush. So I'm gonna go in with Sphere. I'm gonna just coat that baby right in Sphere. And I'm gonna apply Sphere only to the outer corner. Okay, so now that I have this like crazy neon color on my eye, I'm gonna go in with Lucid, which again is like kind of like that white looking shimmery shade, and I'm gonna put that on the rest of my corner, or on the rest of my cut crease. Notice how I'm dragging it into the yellow tone. So what that's doing is kind of like creating kind of like an easy transition-y color. So that way we don't want, like, yes, it's a cut crease, but you also need to remember that you're gonna want to try to blend it and make it kind of like as smooth as possible for something so harsh. I'm gonna go back in with the color Sphere, just because I feel like this color, it can get a little chalky. It's not bad, but it can just get a little chalky. So I'm just gonna go in and tap it. Okay. Oh yeah, that right there is the craziest thing I have ever done. So I was right in the middle of filming this and like doing this when I realized that it might be a good opportunity for me to give you some tips as to like how I do this cut crease. So basically my biggest tip is to use concealer or whatever kind of base that you use, and make sure that it is like the goopiest and like the most like liquidy foundation or concealer that you have, just because that's gonna make like the pigment brighter than like the upper part of your eye. So like this part of my eye is pigmented, yes, but like this part of my eye is like the wow effect. So in order for you to keep that and to keep that shade bright and in place, kind of use like a very wet base. Also, I would suggest patting your eyeshadow into place, just because since it is a wetter base, if you just go in like this and like not be very gentle with it, it's going to look patchy and it's going to look messy. So my best advice is to take your time with it, to use a little bit of concealer at a time and just pat your eyeshadow into place. And if you notice that there's like parts of it that like don't have as much pigment, just go back in and redo it. Or go over it, I mean. This is like the most rewarding eyeshadow look that you can do, so you really want to just be very careful with it. Just because I feel like being a little bit extra, I'm gonna go in with Dimension to give it more dimension, and I'm gonna just apply it with my finger. That way I have a little bit more control to kind of like the inner part. Like kind of like that transition area, I'm just gonna dab it. Because I don't want it to be super, super strong, but I kind of like the idea of having like a little bit more of like a color. And I'm just gonna drag it. I'm actually gonna use the same color, or the same brush that I use that yellow pigment. I'm gonna dip into it, and then I'm gonna go into the yellow, or the green, or whatever you wanna call this. And just to kind of give it like an even little transition shade. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way that this is looking so far. It's a little bit messy right now, but I'm gonna apply some eyeliner to it. I'm not sure, I'm gonna pull out a couple of my different shades. I have black, and then I have like a couple other crazy colors. So I'm gonna go pull my crazy colors right now and kind of compare as to like how they would look. I'll be right back. I actually decided that I'm just gonna be sticking with my black just because I am basic. So I'm gonna go in with this Tartist, and I'm going to start to do a little wing. I have actually used this particular eyeliner for so many projects. I put this on my boyfriend's face on Halloween when we went to Disneyland, because I did like a Mickey inspired Halloween costume on both of us. Like I was Minnie and he was Mickey, and through the water rides and through everything, this like stuck the best. Like I was afraid it was going to like, you know, rub off during the day, because Disneyland is kind of like a huge day event, but it was perfect. Like he would even like accidentally like scratch it, and he'd be like, oh my god babe, is this still on? And I'd be like, yeah, no, you're fine. It was very weird, but I really recommend this. And it comes with this, well at least I got it with that, so I don't know if it actually comes with it. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna line this guy. Okay, so I'm going to give my eyes a little bit of a break right now, and I'm going to go into my face just because I need to step out of my eye zone, because if I look at my eyes, if I do anything else to my eyes, I will go crazy. So I'm going to start by priming my base, of course, with my Becca First Light Priming Filter. So this is kind of like a complexion like refresh. So what this is going to do is, right now I have like a lot of like redness to my face, as you can see, and I have a lot of like kind of like blotchy areas to my face, like my skin. So this is kind of going to dull some of that out to the best of its ability. And it's like a purple base to it, so it kind of serves as like a color corrector in a way. So it's by Becca again, and I'm just going to go in and prime. You guys kind of already know my my skin routine that I use for my, like, well, not my skin routine, I mean my face routine. So I'm gonna use my beauty blender this time to put on my primer, just because I'm feeling a little fancy. I'm gonna go in again, and I'm just gonna quickly color correct my face, and then I'm gonna go in with a new foundation that I really want you to see. But the next two steps, if you're interested in knowing what they are to my video down below. Well, not down below, but like to my first video. And that kind of walks you through this whole process. You know what I'm actually going to try to do is I'm actually going to use my contour stick. It's in the same shade as I did last week's video, but it's Mink. And I'm just going to actually go ahead and contour, and then I'm going to be using my foundation on top of my contour. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to create kind of like a softer contour, and the point of like festival makeup is to look crazy and to look creative, but it is also to kind of like look like, hey, look, I woke up like this. This is the color of like my real skin. So I'm trying to keep it as like I want to say like my skin almost as like clear as possible. And the reason why I did kind of like a 3 motion is to really carve out my jawline. A lot of people don't need to do that, and I don't really feel like it's completely necessary for me to do that either, but it kind of just creates kind of like a more bronzy effect as well. So now that I am done with that, I'm gonna go in with my favorite that I have right now, Glow. And it is the one that I talked about last time, and it is the Ulta Beauty Liquid Glow. And I am just going to apply that to like a kind of like an airbrush complexion brush. And I'm just gonna put that right on top of it. And I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna So now I'm gonna go actually in with my foundation, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation, and this is in shade Warm Ivory. I feel like it fits me just fine. It's like so satisfying actually. One of my old coworkers gave this to me, and I'm like really surprised that they got my shade down completely perfect. What I like about this foundation, and the reason why I picked this for today's video, is because it is a very like lightweight almost. It's not full coverage, it's definitely like a medium coverage, but it's very buildable as well. So like if you do decide to like take this to like a festival or something like that, it works really well because it doesn't give you like the cakey feel. It very much gives you like a lightweight complexion look too. I am gonna go in with it one more time, and I'm gonna go in on my neck just to make sure, you know, that everything is kind of like matchy. And there's just a few spots that like I want a little bit more coverage. See what I mean? Like it doesn't give you like full coverage. And I kind of appreciate that on days where like my skin is like a little bit like dry, because I feel like sometimes like full coverage foundations just make me super dry. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this into place. And seeing as we are looking for kind of like more festival-y look, I'm only going to use this high finishing powder. And the reason for that being is that I don't want to bake too much, just because I feel like that kind of takes away from the kind of like glowy look that we're going for. So usually I would go in with like my Maybelline powder, but today I'm just gonna go in with this powder. And I'm gonna go in with it very lightly as well, and I'm not gonna actually like set it, just because I want to prevent flashback. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna kind of tap that in just under my under eye to prevent any creasing. To my T-zone, my chin, definitely right here. Okay, and then I'm done. That's all. That is literally all that I'm doing with powder. And that is just, see how I still kind of have almost like a little glow to it. So like my powder is definitely set, or my liquids are definitely set, but now I'm going to kind of remember the look that we're going for, which is kind of like a glowy goddess look. So I'm going to go in with my bronzer now, and I'm using Butter bronzer, and I am so obsessed with both the smell. It smells like coconuts. It smells like you put coconuts in a bronzer, and I love the smooth finish that it has. I'll kind of like swatch it for you, but it is just so gorgeous. It leaves you with such like a creamy, milky glow. I don't know if you can really see that, but you'll see it on my skin in a second. And again, I'm not looking for like a chiseled look, so I'm just gonna use this big brush that I have from the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill, and it is JH02, and I'm just gonna coat that right in, and then I'm gonna start right here, and I'm going to bronze up my face. I'm not looking for any super harsh lines. I'm not looking for anything crazy, crazy. So I'm just gonna go in and bronze this face up. I am so obsessed with this fun bronzer. It is literally so beautiful. I'm gonna bronze up the skin. Bronze it all up, baby. I'm gonna bronze up my nose a little bit just because I hate my nose so much. So I'm just gonna use the JH10 in the Jaclyn Hill brush collection, and I'm just gonna go in and just kind of contour my nose. That's the only thing that I'm really gonna contour today, just because I hate my big nose. So for blush, I'm going to be using the Paaarty. So I'm just gonna apply this to like the apples of my face, because we all have some apples on our faces. And I'm just going to, I love this blush for this specific look, just because it's also very bronzy. It's not like, it's kind of like a deep coral shade, I would like to call it. And I like that for this reason, because it looks like you were kissed by the sun. I like to put a little bit on my nose. Okay, and for highlight, I'm gonna go in very, very lightly with this Ulta Beauty. I don't know exactly the name of this. They might have other highlighters, but this is, if you look for this specific packaging, and then it literally just says Illuminator. I just like dipped my finger in it. That was dummy. That was a dummy move. It's actually a very beautiful highlight. It's very light, I have to say, but it glows you up. This is perfect for like, also like, I want to say like job interviews and like in the workforce, you know what I mean? Because it's like goldish. I don't know if you can see that or if it does the right justice to it, but it's definitely a very light highlight, and it is so darn pretty. And I'm gonna apply that above my brows, and I'm gonna apply that right here. I was like, I'm gonna go very light with my highlight. Dips face into highlight. Oh my god, I am getting the sniffles! My boyfriend was just sick, so I might just be catching something, to be completely honest with you. So I'm gonna go back into my Anastasia palette, and you know what? I'm going to go in with, obviously I want to try to go back in with Sphere, just because I feel like that's kind of like my vibe right now. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just dip into Sphere. Okay, so then the next thing that I want to do is I want to see what it looks like with Pyramid. So like, what do you guys think? Oh, shoot. Shoot. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I like the way that looks. See it, but like, so I use Pyramid, and it is this like yellow gold shade. I'm gonna turn down the brightness from this camera a little bit just so you can see it. So it's like this like yellow gold shade. Oops. And I'm just gonna tap that right here, and I'm going to apply that kind of like to the bottom part of my lash line. So we have kind of like a white gold on top, and then we have like a yellow gold. We're just having fun here. We're just having a blast. I want to try to I'm going to try to incorporate, the purple dimension color that I did up top, just to see what that looks like. And if not, I'll just kind of like buff it away. But I'm using that dimension color. It's that like purple tone, and I'm just gonna put it right in the center. Not bad. I mean, I might like it a little bit more without it, but I think I'll just keep it because I don't hate it completely. Okay, so now that I have all of the crazy colors, I'm gonna go in with a flat brush, and I'm gonna go in with this black shade that is in the palette. You can use any black shade really, but I'm just gonna go in with this one just because it's right here in front of me. So I'm gonna go in with it. It's just like the one right next to Sphere. And I'm gonna tap it. I'm using my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill brush. And I'm going to kind of tap it on this. Okay guys, so now I have my eyelashes on. They are the Ardell Demi Wispies. I bought 2 packs when there was like a sale on them at Ulta. There's always like a sale on Ardell. So I'm gonna go in with the fun stuff now. And when I mean fun stuff, I mean villains. Do I look like I care? Do I look like I care? And this is the Glitterally Obsessed Body Glitter. And I'm just gonna take a little bit from here. See like this, oh god. See like this much. And I'm just gonna warm it up with my fingers first because a little bit goes a very long way. I've done this. And I'm just gonna this will give you like that like festival look for making sure. And then apply a little to my nose. So I'm gonna go in with the Melted Latex Too Faced. And this is a liquefied high shine lipstick. And I am obsessed with this formula. Like, it is so pretty. This is in the shade Love You, Mean It. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on. Okay, so to set this look together, we are going to be using the dewy finish. Alright babes, so now we are completely done with this look. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. I'm going to go fix my hair, and I really hope that you take inspiration from this, and thank you so much.